Hello, welcome to this module. Here we will see how to ingest log data using Apache Flume. So let's check this document. This is our Flume user guide. Let's have a look at what Flume is and what it does. So basically, Apache Flume is a system to collect and aggregate large amount of log data from various application servers and move them into any centralized system. In our case, it's HDFS. Let's go to our old pant and check what does this definition mean. So here in pant, okay, so this is very high level picture of Apache Flume system. We here have some application servers. Then we have a Flume agent to collect and aggregate the logs from these application servers. So Flume agent collects the logs from various application servers, which then push these logs into HDFS or HBase. So basically what is happening here? There are some application servers which are generating some web logs or simply logs. Flume agent is a system which collects these logs from various application servers and then push them to any storage like HDFS or HBase. Now, why we need Flume when we can simply ingest the data into HDFS via NFS? Because if we do that, then it will be a big burden on name node, as it has to keep all the metadata. And imagine a situation where thousands of servers tries to ingest data into HDFS, our system will crash. While here we have a Flume agent deployed for such data ingestion, which is very easy to scale. As with more traffic, we just have to add more Flume agents. A correctly configured Flume agent guarantees that no data will be lost. So it's very reliable too. Simplest deployment unit of Flume is Flume agent. Now let's see inside a Flume agent. So go back to documentation. This is our Flume agent. Now Flume agent has three components, which are source, channel and sink. Inside the Flume agent, source is responsible to collect the data from any outside application. In our case, it was application server. Also, the data which it is collecting from outside application is called event in Flume. So more correctly, sources collect the events from outside applications and push them to channel. We can have multiple sources writing to a single channel, and each source must be connected to at least one channel. Channels then buffer the data, which is not yet written to any storage or to any other channels. Channels can also write to other channels or storage system. We'll check that in a while. So channels behaves like queues, with source writing to them and sink reading from them. Sink then poll the channel for any events or new data And if it's not read yet, if any event is not read yet, sync will read them from the channel. And then when sync finishes writing the events to the storage, in our case it is HDFS. So when sync finishes writing the events to HDFS, it polls back to channel and channel will remove that event. Now let's see another scenario. Scroll it down here. Here we have two agents, and every agent has source, channel and sync. So this source is collecting and aggregating data from some application server, and then it pushes it to the channel. Then channel queues this data until it has been read by the sync. And here sync is not pushing the data or event to HDFS or HBase, but it is pushing the data to the source of another agent. This is agent foo, this is agent bar. And sync of agent foo is pushing the events to the source of agent bar. It then pushes to its channel, which is then read by bar sync, and so on. So we can have multiple agents ingesting data into each other. And finally, it's been written to HDFS or HBase or any other sync. Now next scenario is very common. It is collection of logs from hundreds of servers, which then send these logs to some Flume agents. Like here, these web servers are sending logs to agents. These are first tier agents, which then push these logs to a common agent before it is going to be stored in HDFS. So agent 1, agent 2, agent 3 are the first tier agents fetching data from outside sources and pushing it to the sources of agent 4. And finally, the sync of agent 4 is sending these events to our storage, which is HDFS in this case. Another scenario is called multiplexing the flow. So in it, a single agent pushes the data into various storage or another agent via various syncs and channels. So here, a source of agent foo is collecting data from outside and fanning them to various channels, which then are read by different syncs. Like sync 1 is reading from channel 1, sync 2 is reading from channel 2, sync 3 is reading from channel 3. So here this sync is pushing the data to HDFS. So this is HDFS sync. Sync 2 is pushing this data to JMS or Java Messaging Services, and sync 3 is pushing this data to another agent bar, which then writes the data to either any storage or to any other agent or any other messaging services like Kafka. Now question arises, how do we achieve this? How should we configure Flume to any desired task? We do this by writing a configuration file, which is like any other Java properties file.